Zero. Welcome to another CEO Wisdom Pod with Shay Hewett. He is the CEO of Evoked Response. He's the inventor of neurotech behind Brain.fm, ultrahuman, and more. We're gonna discuss about the impact of music on the brain, productivity, happiness, everything between. This pod is brought to you by podfire.com. If you want to start, scale, or be invited to podcasts like this one, go to podfire.com. Adam, welcome to the pod. Tell me a bit more about yourself and what you're up to nowadays.
I've been studying music for over 25 years and how it affects the brain, and it's kind of what I devoted my life to. Didn't wake up at like 18 or whatever and just decide to do this. What actually happened is I was at a meditation kind of retreat, and people were having trouble relaxing, and so somebody said, "Okay, I want to put on a sound that's going to help you relax." And I thought it was going to be something like rain or Enya or something like that, you know. But it was actually it's like thumping, and it sounded kind of like an engine rumbling almost. And everybody was kind of looking around like, "What the hell is this?" But we closed our eyes, and it really worked. And so I grew up in a musical family, Irish family, and I've always played instruments, and I'm also a programmer. So I was able to kind of dive into this, you know. And this was 2000, so like you know, people back then were still debating whether brainwaves even had any kind of significance. I mean, this is in the dark ages of brainwaves, really. Like people were debating whether it was just random noise or whether it actually had any kind of impact on the brain. So really, there was a lot of skepticism behind what I was doing, but I made the first application was released in 2001, and I just made it for my friends and family, but it took off. And so 6 months later, we hired our first neuroscientist, and 2 years later, published our first paper.
And how do you explain Brain.fm taking off so hard? Because I've been a power user of Brain.fm for years. I heard about you guys from Product Hunt or something like that, but I was hooked and I paid for Brain.fm for years. How do you explain it taking off so fast and so hard?
Well, that it took off whenever I was with it. I'm not with Brain FM anymore, but whenever I was with it, it was kind of a renaissance, really, of um, all these devices were coming out for brain monitoring, and so we could very easily use clinical grade devices to study the brain and music, and it was a technological kind of boom. And I mean, as you know, it's not a subtle effect. I mean, you start listening to it, and suddenly it's 4 hours later, and you've written 100 emails, and you've written your first novel. You know, like whatever, and like it feels like Adderall. I mean, it feels good. That's the focus one. Sleep is the opposite. Sleep kind of feels like gravity. Kind of feels like pulling you down. This really nice, you know. So it's kind of two ends of the spectrum there, but there's a whole spectrum, and we work with a whole bunch of different neural states. And it's not. I also want to emphasize that this isn't binaural beats. This isn't isochron tones. This is something simple. It's actually since I left Brain FM, we've discovered 12 different um, uh, aspects of music that affect cognition. And so we've really amped it up. And since we started working, we're a B2B business, Evoked Response. That's where I am now, evokedresponse.com. And we work with hundreds and hundreds of businesses. I mean, you've likely heard us, honestly. If you've used like an app that has music for exercise, now that has music for whatever. And because we work with, so we're able to actually work with millions of people now instead of just hundreds of thousands. But the Brain FM took off because it worked. I mean, that's just simple. We did no advertising. We did nothing. It just plain worked. And it's just like whenever I released it in 2001. It's an application that actually has an effect. And I again, and these days I don't get a lot of skepticism. It's great. Um, Back in 2001, I got a lot of blogs, saying, well, this, there's no science behind this, blah blah blah. But I pushed and I pushed and I pushed, and I got scientists interested and into this, and I actually got big time scientists on our team, and looking into it all around the world. So I'm very proud of that. That music is becoming a real therapy these days.
I would sometimes feel aggression when I would listen to Brain.fm focus for too long. Did you ever get that before?
Not personally, no. But here's the thing. So whenever we first made Brain FM, we had 30-minute sessions, but people complained. So we made 2-hour sessions. People still complain. So we made an infinity button. All right. So and listen, we haven't done studies on people doing 8 hours or 16 hours of brain of any kind of music, you
That
know.
was me.
And like I said, it feels like Adderall. So like I can understand like it might make you feel a bit aggressive after like 2 or 3 hours of use. You know what I mean?
Yeah, then I did Adderall, the modified version, well, the better version, which is modafinil. It's not the same component, but similar-ish drug. Um, and I would sometimes feel that way too on that, like overly focused, like don't talk to me, I'm in my bubble and don't disrupt me and so forth. Now, evoked response, I guess, yeah, that's the evolution of brain.fm. Like, what are you doing there? What is your focus for this year?
The focus for this year is pilot studies. We're doing pilot. We have about 10 to 20 pilot studies going on right now with companies. This is how we sell our product. A company comes to us and they say, we want to improve employee burnout. We want to improve sleep. We want to put you in our headband. We want to do this. We want to Elevate, for example, a brain gaming company. Okay, they came to us and said, we need music for our brain gaming. And so they did a pilot study, a very rigorous pilot study. And they found that using our music actually increased people's scores on their brain games. I mean, so this is how we sell our music. We simply give it out to people and we say, try it. Try it on your voice. Not only does it scientifically increase, whatever state you're trying to do. It decreases churn. It increases retention. It increases conversions. It increases engagement with the app. Because as you mentioned, you end up listening to it for hours and hours because it feels good. That's really what it is all about. Is that music is humanity's only instinct, and we are trying to unlock the potential of music and unlock the mystery of why. I mean, there's 1,000 other things that humans could have had as an instinct, like kung fu, like see, like anything but music, right? But why? Why music? That's the real wonderful question that I almost hope it never gets answered because I love it. I love mysteries.
Well, is
And
it because we have a heartbeat and a respiration beat and it's just trying to get in sync with that? Is it because we have brain waves as well?
Well, rats have brainwaves. I mean, birds have brainwaves. We're the only species on the planet, including apes. Apes don't have this. Chimpanzees do not have cannot listen to tone intervals and rhythm. Cannot listen to music. So we are the only species that has this. And the real question is why? Um, because evolutionarily speaking, it has to have some grand importance. And I truly believe that there's you there's things that you lose whenever you advance as a technological society. And I think that there's some kind of magic of music that we've lost. I mean, so there's cultures that in Africa and in other un you meet a culture that has never met Western people before, and they will often not have a different word for talking and music. It'll be the same word.
Right.
Um, so it's very interesting, I, I regularly post on LinkedIn, just kind of just trying to figure out the mystery is slowly unraveling, and there's always a benefit to music. I mean, there's, for example, pacing. If you pace yourself to a rhythm, and not, I mean, not a fast rhythm, not like Staying Alive, not like you want a nice solid rhythm. You pace yourself, you can run forever. This is actually how we can actually outrun a cheetah. No, I'm not kidding. Because the cheetah will run fast, and then it'll have to stop, and it'll be breathing really hard, and it'll be breathing, and then we catch up to it, and it'll have to run again. And so uh we're the only species that can do that too. So and it's all about pacing. It's all about you can run for days. There's many stories about like this guy in Australia who was running a race. He was an old guy, about I think he was like 80 years old, but he paced himself, and he actually beat everybody in a 24-hour race because he paced himself, and he didn't sleep. Everybody else slept, but he paced himself through the night and actually won the race. So there's millions of stories like this, and these are just tiny clues as to why music is our only instinct. But what we're trying to do at Evoked Response is unlock um, even more potential, because we're seeing just extreme potential in neuromodulation, um, as to help with just a variety of disorders. I mean, you've seen, and we have a paper coming out for ADHD. I have extensive research for sleep, and we worked with Olympians. We worked, I mean, you name it. So it's a wonderful, we're working on this wonderful mystery. At the same time, we are helping people, we're helping millions of people, and businesses, um help people with burnout, for example, and pretty much well, not, I mean, not every brain state, but states like anxiety, for example. That's actually a big word. It's a broad word, like what kind of anxiety. But if you can nail it down, we can probably help with it. Music is actually helpful in a very, very broad term. It's kind of like and I don't mean to say that music is a cure-all. It's not. Like, if you have MS, we can't, I'm sorry, we can't. Now, Alzheimer's, actually, we're doing some work with Alzheimer's. We are doing work with Alzheimer's. A hospital is working with us, and we're doing work with them. And we're using various techniques. One of those is sleep, because we can give people more deep sleep, and that flushes out the metabolic waste and tau proteins and beta amyloids and stuff like that in the brain that contribute to Alzheimer's in the first place. So there's a lot of potential for it, and we just have to unlock it.
Yeah, I agree. It's fascinating what you're working on. Where can people find out more about you, Adam?
You can go to evokedresponse.com, or you can just type in Adam Shay Hewett. That's SHEA and HEWETT. I know, weird name, Irish. And type in my name in LinkedIn, and you'll see uh hundreds of posts, me rambling about music and having fun. Um, but yeah, I mean, I've also got a website. It's pretty old, but it does link to a bunch of papers, and so if you look up my name, you can see a bunch of podcasts and a bunch of stuff like this, and hope this will probably appear.